Applying trigonometric functions. Objective. Use trigonometry to find the measures of the sides of right triangles. Example 1. If angle P equals 35 degrees and side R equals 14, find side Q. In order to understand this example, we need to know that capital letters represent angles, lowercase letters represent sides. The sides are always opposite of their angles. So, looking at this problem, we have angle P, which is 35 degrees. We have 14, which is the hypotenuse. Those are the only two numbers they give us, all right? So what we need to determine is which trig ratio we're gonna use, sine, cosine, or tan. And the way that we determine that depends on what they give us. So if we're dealing with angle 35, then that means that P has to be in the equation since we're dealing with angle 35, all right? So that gives us the opposite. So that leaves Q as being the adjacent. And of course we know that 14 is the hypotenuse. All right, so it depends on what they give us. They want us to find Q. So that means that Q has to be in it. And they give us the hypotenuse. So Q is the adjacent. 14 is the hypotenuse. Therefore, we use cosine, since cosine equals adjacent over hypotenuse. All right, cosine equals adjacent over hypotenuse. And the way that we know to use cosine is because we have to find Q, and they give us the hypotenuse, which is 14, and Q is the adjacent. So we use these two. All right? So now we set it up. You have cosine, we're going to use the angle, 35 equals Q over 14. So the next thing we have to do is use your calculators. Use your calculators, all right, to find the cosine of 35 degrees. Use your calculators to find the cosine of 35 degrees. So we're going to say cosine 35 equals, and we're going to use the first 4 digits after the decimal. So the cosine of 35 is 0.8191 equals Q over 14. Okay? Now, the next step is real simple. We multiply. We have 0.8191 times 14. Gives us 11.5 when rounded to the nearest 10. All right, so side Q equals 11.5. Example 2. If angle J equals 50 degrees and side J equals 12, find R. All right, so taking a look at this, you know that angle J, they already told us, is 50 degrees. All right? So basically that's the angle we're working off of. So that means that this is the opposite. And they want us to find R. So that means that we have to include this one, which is the hypotenuse. All right, we know that G is the adjacent, but we really don't have to use that one because they give us a number, which is the opposite, and then they give us R, which we have to find, all right, which is the hypotenuse. So that means that opposite over hypotenuse is sine. So basically, we're going to find the sine of whatever degree they give us. They give us 50 degrees. So the sine of 50 equals 12 over R. Once again, we're going to use our calculators. All right, we're going to use our calculators. We're going to say sine $50. It's going to give us a long number, all right, a long decimal. We're going to take the first 4 digits behind the decimal. So basically, we're going to say 0.7660. So sine of 50 is 0.7660 equals 12 over R. So this one works a little bit different than the last one because of the way that we had it set up. We're still going to multiply that times that, all right? But instead, we're going to have 0.7660 R equals 12. So now we have to do the opposite of multiplication, which is division. So we're going to take 0.7660, we're going to place it in the denominator, 12 divided by 0.7660 equals, it's going to give you something like this. But what you have to do is round it to the nearest 10, right? This is the 10th place. The number behind it is 6, so we round it up. R equals 15.7. Example 3, if angle A equals 37 degrees and B equals 6, find side A. All right, so focusing on angle A or looking at angle A is 37 degrees, so that means that this side A will be the opposite, all right? And they give us a number in this, they give us B equals 6. And according to the triangle, 6 is adjacent. We know that C is the hypotenuse, but we don't have to use it, all right? So we're not going to worry about that. But we do have opposite and adjacent. We know that opposite over adjacent gives us the tan. All right? So we have 37 degrees. The tan 37 degrees equals A over 6. All right, so once again, get calculators. We're gonna go tan 37 degrees equals, and we're gonna get 0.7535545050. All right, so we're gonna take the first four numbers after the decimal, which would give us 7535 equals A over 6. All right, we're multiplying. 0.7535 times 6 equals 4.521. Rounded to the nearest 10. 4.5. Side A equals 4.5. Example 4. If angle B equals 26 degrees and side B equals 18, find C. All right, so they're telling us to find C, so off top we know that we're going to use the hypotenuse in this equation. And they give us side 18, which is the opposite. So we know that we're going to use opposite over hypotenuse, which is sine. So sine, and of course the angle is 26, so we use the sine of 26, equals opposite 18 over hypotenuse, C. You're gonna grab your calculator. You're gonna find the sine of 26. Which is 0.4383. 18 over C. All right? Next thing we do is multiply these two. All right? 18. Now it's set up like a one-step equation where we have to divide. We always divide the number that has the variable. C equals 41.067. Rounded to the nearest tenth. That 6 is going to push that 0 up to a 1. So side C equals 41.1.